Hi folks, welcome to my Pit Retro Journal. Today I've got my QL with me and I'm going to be demonstrating my browser that I wrote over the summer. I already did a short, quick clip video that was non-verbal, but I wanted to talk more about it in depth and do it on real hardware. This is my simulant modem and it's going to be plugging right into this, the side here. And I've got my SCART cable because the monitor I have can use SCART, so it's going to get a really nice picture of that. And so what I want to do is demonstrate the browser in real time, show you how, and again, it's still a prototype, it's not fully done. And then I want to show you how it actually, the design of it, how it works. And I'm going to go to my Windows machine for that, just to show you, talk a little bit about that. It's based on SlipKnot, the browser that was written in the 90s when the web first came out, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about what my plans are in terms of finishing this. Okay, so that's what I want to do. So what I need to do first is actually arrange the camera to show the screen. So let me set that up. Okay, I got my QL set up. I got the modem is actually not in sight, but it's plugged in. It's actually behind the monitor because I don't have enough room. Again, a beautiful picture. And so here's what I got as far as on my MDV3 drive. And so I'm going to start up Mimir. And here we go. MDV3 Mimir. And so there's the page. And again, I can just do a local file, so MDV3 test HTM. And you can see that if I go, so if I go to info, so these are all local. If I try one of these, it'll just say no network connection, and I can go down. So this is just an example of 2 pages. If I go Alt, goes back to the previous set. It can also I think the README is just a README file. Yeah, from Digital Precision. And I can go back, Alt, back arrow takes me back to that. So, so it has browsing features. I think this is just a basic program. So it doesn't just read HTML pages. And by the way, they're not actually HTML pages. They're actually dump pages. So I don't know if calling them HTML is actually fair, but that's what I'm calling them. So, so we have, and so if I want to go to this page, it says no network error. So how do I get network? So what I need to do is, I'm going to say Control M for modem. And now this gets me to the modem. And so if I go here, and if I say Control B baud and say, so this basically, and I'll demonstrate this on my Windows 7 machine. There's a program called, I believe it's called ClearTerm, that uses sort of this approach. So in other words, there's nothing I can type in because I'm not in the window. I have to use Control X that gives me a command mode, and then I can just type the command and it just says AT. So if I type ATDT and free shell is the free is a Unix account that you get for free. All you have to do is send them a letter with $1 in it to prove you're human, or you can use PayPal to do it quicker because it takes about 2 weeks to activate. For I think $6 in PayPal, it lets you do it. But if you do that and then did not, okay, hold on. So if I go And I think I have to go AT plus config. Oh, there's no connection, that's why. Oh, it will, I think it just connected. If I go, oops. Yeah, and if I go, AT, yeah, if I go AT plus config, now it's connected to my iPhone. So now, and if I just say AT, oops, AT. Now if I go AT free shell.org, and again, I'm not going to give a tutorial on how to actually use the Z modem software that gives you AT compatibility. That's something that anyone that uses this is going to have to figure out. It's not that hard. And what I decided to do, instead of trying to create sort of a scripted environment, I just give you a very basic terminal program where you then just type in. And again, you type it in the bottom of the command line, it puts it out there, so it makes it very simple. Now we're connected. And it's going to want my login information. And I'm going to hide my password from you guys. And so now we're in it. And so if I go ls, it shows all the files I've, and then you can already see that I've been running Mimir, because and again, I'll go over this when I'm on the Windows side, but it uses the Lynx browser to dump a file into Mimir dump, and then it uses the text editor to then slowly get it to me. So now what I have to do is just hit escape, and I'm back in the browser side of things. And so now if I just hit return, now that it has a connection, I'm actually live loading now. So this is pretty cool, huh? 1984 Sinclair QL, no extra memory, just using an AT Haze compatible modem, in this case the retro Wi-Fi from Simulant, that is at 2400 baud. I haven't tried it with higher baud rate, but this is pretty okay. And you know, the QL does have issues with higher baud rate, so I've just been using 2400, yeah. So now I'm actually surfing. All right, so I'm going to the next page, and notice that I stop at 20 links. That's the hard-coded value, so there are no links for 21, 22. I need to fix that, and I'll talk about how to fix it. And I can go to the next page, so no links are active there, but these links are all active. So if I want to go to entertainment, for instance, I click, and now it loads the entertainment page. And again, it's pretty quick. At 2400 baud is pretty quick. I could try at 4800 baud. Let's see how much faster that would be. Yeah, okay, so we have, now we're in the entertainment page. Yeah. So let me try that. So I'm going to go modem. And I think if I go plus, first I need to quit out of the editor part. Yeah. And if I go, I think if I just say log out, maybe exit, no carrier. All right, so now if I go AT baud 4800, and I need to change now, so I have to say baud 4800, and I'm communicating. All right, so now let's try it again. ATDT freeshell.org, and get me my command. Yeah, I want that, which is nice because I can do all sorts of editing on this, because I'm collecting this locally whatever I'm typing, and then I send it over the serial port. So if I make any mistakes, because if you're actually directly connected via a terminal program, you can't backspace when logging. It doesn't work. So this is actually kind of nicer. Yep. All right. So let's see how this does. Right back to where we were, and now this should go. See if it goes faster. It doesn't go that much faster, and the reason why is because it's doing a one line at a time communicating. So so I think that's always going to slow it down a bit, but it's not slow. So it's actually yeah. So I'm still doing pretty good. Where it will screw up, by the way, is if these links are multi-line wrap. I haven't done that yet. I need to somehow parse that so if it goes past the end of this, then either it scrolls in this direction, because I have a limited amount of screen space, so I don't want to muck with that. But yeah. But, and of course 4K, but I have an idea of how to keep this program is like under 10K in size. And it's using 4K of memory for these pages with 20 links. And I can keep it at that because I can leave all the work on the server side. So this could be very efficient. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right, so here we are. Look at that. Where else do I want to go? I think, let me find, I think I went to the QL forum. .com home. So, I think it was Dilwyn. I forget. I'm back. So it's actually he has his own subdomain. So it's Dilwyn.theqlforum.com. Again. Unlike modern browsers, and I should probably fix that. If it doesn't find that's probably something I want to add, so I don't have to keep typing this. But it also shows you it's pretty robust, but I kind of like the fact that I have a 404 page, which of course is coming from the server, so. And now it's loading Dilwyn's page. So some of this will screw up because it's, yeah, and of course, yeah. So here we are. Look at that. We're on his homepage, and we're browsing. Isn't that great? And go down to the next page. So again, if you hit the end of it, it just kind of stops. I'm hitting the right arrow, left arrow goes up. So I probably should fix that in the future so that it can also sort of wrap around. Did I do magazines last time? I'm trying to be careful because if I go to the wrong place, then it'll screw up the screen and everything. But yeah, this could be developed for any platform. And what I want to do is I want to finish this during winter break, and yeah, look at that. And then I want to put it out on GitHub. And interestingly, so there's another bug I just see here. If you can see. 1, 2, 3, and then it didn't pick up 4. It actually skipped that, and then it picked up today. So something's going on. So again, this still has bugs, which is not funny. But okay, but yeah, I want to put it on GitHub and then ask the community if anybody wants to join in writing using this SlipKnot model of Telnet and these Wi-Fi retro modems to build browsers for the Commodore 64, for Atari 800 XL, maybe the Spectrum even, machines that generally have not had browsers. And you could even write browsers for like an early version of the Amiga that doesn't have a network connection, but you can just hook a serial port to it. So yeah, I want to make this a GitHub, put it on GitHub, and then let people create branches off of it. And I'm willing to help. You can certainly see the rendering engine that I've created is pretty simple. I don't do HTML, obviously. I do the post-processed dump file. But I was thinking if the machine's more powerful, what you could do is you could actually then just grab the HTML, although it adds a little bit of complexity because the HTML, you might have to grab the whole thing, which means you wouldn't have it instantly the way you have it here. But you could do a combination of do the dump file first to get a rough estimate, and then while it's rendering the page, it then replaces that with the rendered page so you can get the visuals of background images and whatnot and graphics. I also want to create it in such a way that if I have a picture or a zip file here and I hit, it'll actually download it on my QL as opposed to just showing it, right? So those are all other things I want to do, which I think is kind of cool. All right, so what I want to do next is I want to go and on my laptop and just show you a little bit of how it works underneath, all right? So let's do that. Okay, so I'm on my laptop and I've got my Simulant modem hooked to my laptop. It's actually through a USB serial to serial connector because this 2004 laptop doesn't have an RS-232 port on it. I have this program clear terminal, and this is one of the ones sometimes I use because it's nice and portable, it's an executable. I just wanted to show this to you because this is where I got my inspiration of having this little command line on the bottom. Let me first connect it to the modem. The way you do that is it's COM port 6 at 2400. And I can, down here, just type commands, AT, and it just does that. And it's nice because you can type whatever you want and then just clear it out and you're fine. Whereas here you have to deal with the modem. What I want to do is change it to 9600 baud. And then, of course, you have to change it here as well to 9600 baud. And you should do this way. And then it should work again. Yeah. However, I'm not going to use this because this cannot implement VT100, which is what I need. So I'm going to use instead, I've got PuTTY here. And PuTTY actually can do raw, telnet, rlog, and it can also do serial. So I've got this already configured to do 9600 for COM6. If I open this up, we are right here. AT, look, it works. So ATDT, freeshell.org, and that's going to connect us to, and then here I'm going to type in my user ID, which it doesn't echo, which is a free shell thing, and then my password. Okay, and so now we're here, and what I have here is you can see I have a bunch of dump files. Mimir.dump is what my browser does, but and if I go into it, Mimir.dump, it doesn't like tab. Oh no, it does. It just took a while. You can see that was the QL magazine on Dilwyn's home site was the last thing we looked at, so that's what is actually in there. But if we look at, so let me just do one. So I'm going to say links, http cnn.com, and I'm going to dump it into, I'll call it test.dump. I think that's usually what I use to test it with. And so that's going to create that dump file. And then I use editor. So if I just say ed test.dump, it tells me how long it is. So it's actually 72,000 lines long, but if I quit Q and hit return, if I do ed with a dash test.dump, it gives me no feedback, which I really like. So then I can just say 1. It doesn't echo it back, but I just type 1, and that'll give me the first line. And from here, and if I hit return, it gives me each subsequent line. So that's actually kind of cool. And that's kind of how I do it. And then if I want to jump to the end, I just hit $, and that gives me the last one. And then I can go reverse search, and the command for that is question mark, and then you give it a question mark, up caret, and then you say references, question mark, hit return, and that does a reverse search until it finds references. And then if I go forward, 1, 2, 3, here's my first reference. And that's kind of how the whole thing works. And that's how I am able to control. So I basically do my cache on the server side and just sending commands to get each line back. And what's nice about this is I can keep my browser to kind of short 4K, and then I can just have the ed program be my sort of my online cache where I just do 4K at a time. If I want to go and grab, the next 20, I can do, I don't know what the command is, but I can search for 20 period and find that. So there's all sorts of things I can do with that. So that's pretty cool. The last thing I want to show you is, unfortunately, this laptop cannot do virtualization. Otherwise, I would have showed you that running a Windows XP virtual machine in here. But I have the SlipKnot page up, and you can see that this is the SlipKnot browser that came out. So this page stopped being in 2000. It was like, okay, we're dead. So because it came out, I think, in 1995. And if you want to go to it's www.micromind.com slipknot.htm. If you just go to micromind.com, it'll actually take you to the main homepage. It shows you some of the other things that this person, his name is Peter Brooks. I've tried to contact him to no avail, but it has system requirements, and it says it requires 95 or ONT. I've gotten it to install and work on XP, and it also tells you that in Unix it doesn't add any commands to the Unix. It just requires sh, C shell, bash, tc shell. It requires links, and I think it requires X modem, Y modem, or Kermit. All the things that the free shell has. So I will, during December, I will actually do a video on SlipKnot and see if it still works with the current version of Linux. I hope it does. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, so this is a cool program. Right? So SlipKnot was Windows-based graphical browser that didn't require serial link IP, PPP, or TCP IP. So just modem connection to a shell. And that's what I recreated. That's what I wanted to share with you guys. So yeah, let's go back to my QL. Well, okay, so I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, I'll repeat that I want to create a GitHub project out of this and see if other people want to create a retro browser for all of your favorite 8-bit machines and 16-bit machines. So post a comment if you're interested, and probably by January of 26th, I should have some GitHub repository where folks can start branching out and writing their own stuff. It's written in C, so but that doesn't mean it has to be. It's just my favorite thing to do. I like programming in C. All right, so that's all I got for you today. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next time.